Welcome back to episode 322 of the Tallboy Radio podcast. And as we always say, who knows where it goes when the beer flows? Well, that beer is taking us in a very different direction tonight as we're looking at somebody else's hobby. And if you think 322 episodes is impressive, just wait till we talk to the guy shortly and find out just how many episodes, or what the next number of episode that he's on. But before I say hello to Gaz, who's on my left, I want to say hello. Country number 87, Nepal. Country number 88, Malaysia. And country number 89, Tunisia. A more random selection of countries you will not find.
And welcome on board all of you wonderful folks from those three countries who've decided to join the Tallboy Revolution, as it's very, very swiftly being known. It's not really. But no, looking forward to this episode. It's great when we have a guest on. It's great when we have a guest talking about a hobby that they have and quite passionately about what it is that they do. So yeah, looking forward to this.
Indeed. So without further ado, Scott, did you want to say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Berks. I am the host of the Geocaching podcast. It's a podcast that is weekly every Wednesday night here in the United States about geocaching. It's a hobby or a game based with GPS coordinates.
Yeah. And just what number is the next episode then that you record?
The next episode of the Geocaching podcast, which I am a host of, is number 900.
That's pretty impressive. I've got to say, dude, that is impressive. And I listened to 899, and I thought I knew a little bit about geocaching, but you had a guy on who's a reviewer in the Illinois area where you're based.
Yes.
And I learned a whole lot just off that one episode.
Yeah, the beauty part about having a reviewer on our show is because reviewers are kind of like in the background. They're these, secret guys who push the geocaches live to the public. And so you really don't, the only interaction you have with them is email, and that kind of thing. And they're kind of like hidden in the behind the curtain. And to actually bring them out and, have people be able to ask him questions and call in and talk to him is awesome. I mean, obviously it's an Illinois reviewer and every state's a little different. So it's kind of it can't be specific. It's kind of got to be, more well-rounded questions about a reviewer, not like specific to your state, because he'll just say, I don't know what your state, So, but it's awesome to have him on and to have a reviewer, and people love that show. It's usually a well-received show. I think this was his 5th year on, so it's always great to have him on.
Well, it's impressive. It is impressive. And clearly, we spoke a little bit there at the green room at the start. You've been doing this a long, long time. How did you get involved in it in the first place?
I've been doing it since 2008. I heard about it in 2003. It's been going, geocaching has been happening since 2001. When Bill Clinton turned on hit the big blue switch and he turned on GPS. And then I heard about it in 2003. I read about it in a magazine in 2003. And I was like, wow. Yeah. See, here's the thing about geocaching, guys. And I mean this to everybody. It's one of those things, you get it or you don't. Now, if you get it, you'll always get it. You'll always love it. It's just an amazing thing. If you don't, you may learn to appreciate it, but you'll never love it as much as the people who get it. So when it comes to, I heard about it, I'm like, that's the most amazing thing. It's kind of like a treasure hunt, guys. If everybody in the audience, if like buried treasure and going on a hunt or going on an adventure, going on a treasure hunt excites you and you think that's really cool, look up geocaching, because that's exactly what it is. And you're going to love it. But some people, like I have friends who are like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You go into the woods and you look for Tupperware. That's dumb. They don't get it. Okay. And I respect that. I go, hey, you know what? I absolutely respect that. You don't get it. Okay. But I love it. I live for that, so I heard about it in 2003, but back in 2003, I read about it in a magazine in 2003, and I looked into a portable GPS system. Remember, this way before iPhones, guys. This is when you had to buy a GPS. GPSs were like $400. I'm like, I'm not investing $400 into a game I don't even know. So I put it on the shelf. Cut to 2008. I had just gotten the iPhone 3. The iPhone 3, if I guys, a little history lesson for everybody who's younger, we're old men. And for 2008, that is the first time the iPhone had GPS in it, which pinged off of towers and pinged off of the satellites. So I was like, and I saw, oh God, I can't remember what it was. I saw on a website talking about, and they can now be used for geocaching. Went bing, went online, went to geocaching.com, created my account. Went out and found a cache via my phone, and it's been Boom. Ever since.
Wow.
That's cool.
18 years I've been doing this. 18 years. It has taken over my life. Yeah. So
Wow. I mean, that's it is impressive, and it, you know, to be hooked into something that you then are able to, you know, tell other people about is incredible. Just pick you up on one thing that you said then, and you referred to it twice now as a game. So is it a game? Is it just an activity? Where does that distinction lie? Because obviously you've called it a game, and is that how other people perceive it as such?
that's a very good question. Yeah, I've heard it be called a game. I've heard it called a sport. I've heard it called a hobby. I've heard it called an activity. Many different versions of it. I don't consider it a sport. There's no ball involved. To me, that's one of the major things that gives sport a sport. So I don't think it's a sport. I think it's a game, maybe an activity. Because it is. And now again, this game, air quotes, because we're not officially going in a game. This activity has changed and evolved over the 18 years that I've been doing it. It's very, very different game in 2010 than it is in 2026. Very different game. Obviously, different generations, different people. You know, these millennials need to be gamified. So what they do, they gamified the game a ton in terms of like you make it souvenirs and you know, you get these all add-on things. Back in 2010, they didn't have that. You went and you found the cache, you logged it, you moved on to the next one. You know, boom.
Yeah.
But you know, these millennials, they need their gamification. So don't laugh. You know it's right, Beans. Don't laugh.
Yeah.
So I mean, every millennial would be like, "Yeah, we need the gamification, dude." So it's changed, but you know, you change with it. You know, it's just the way it is. So I consider it a game, an activity. You know, like you said, I don't think it's a sport, but is it truly a game? I don't know, but it doesn't really have a term.
So when you were out in the woods, like you said, was it 8 o'clock yesterday morning or this morning? I can't recall.
Yeah.
What is it exactly that you're looking for out there? So you're trying to find a specific location, but what is it that you are locating when you arrive?
Sure. Okay. So you go online, you create an account, you know, and you can become a premium account, which you pay money, or you can get a free account, you don't pay any money. Either way. But if you don't pay money, you can't find as many geocaches. You have a smaller selection to choose from. So obviously there's an app, of course, it's 2026. So you have the app. And the app now these phones are way better than they are in those 8. So your GPS is now phenomenal, you know, on the Android and or iPhone, doesn't matter, or an iPad, whatever. And so you find it on the on your iPhone. I have an iPhone. I'm just saying iPhone, and then you get a coordinates to it. So you click on it, and then it's kind of like you have a compass, and the compass will tell you it's 0.3 away or whatever, you know, and you just follow the compass to the geocache. And what you're going to find depends on the cache. The hider could hide something as large as, I mean, I've seen everything. I've seen a nano is about this. It's something called a nano, which is about the size of your fingernail. In terms of it's about I'm sorry, this isn't it's about oh god, how do I explain what that is without calling just the nano? It's a really tiny container. You have a pico container, which is a little bigger than that, maybe an inch high, and half an inch width. And everything up to, I have seen a kitchen sink in the woods. I've seen a refrigerator in the woods. I have seen a vacuum cleaner in the woods. I have seen a car in the woods with a geocache on it inside the trunk. So you never, you know, and the beauty part of this game sport activity is that once it became huge, it got huge in like 2012, 10 to 12. That's like when the game exploded. And they are, for everybody listening, if you've never heard of this game, they're everywhere. If you look, there's probably one, guys, where you are right now. I bet you there is one less than a mile away, probably more than one, less than a mile from where you are right now in your house. Probably less than a mile. They are everywhere. They are on everywhere you can go. There's no place in the middle of the desert. I've been 25 miles into the middle of the Nevada desert, and I'm finding caches. They are everywhere, guys. Oh. And so usually those are, probably, a Tupperware container or an ammo can. I don't know if you know what an ammo can is, a 30 cal ammo can. But they are everywhere, and they're every state, every country, all over the world. They're now it's since exploded. It really exploded in 2020 for COVID. Oh my God. Remember COVID, they're like, get away from people, get outside. But what do people do? They go hiking, the game exploded. So many, we call them COVID cashers, who started during COVID, you know. So they're now 6 years in. I mean, they're not, you know, rookies anymore. But yeah, it's exploded. I mean, I used to, and I'll just stop me whenever you want me to stop, because I'll just keep talking.
No, you carry on.
You guys get to sit and drink. So like back in like 2010, like during the golden age, police didn't know what it was. Okay. And so you get, I mean, and especially at night, because I like in the beginning of my career in like 2009 and 10, I was a night cacher, which means I would pretty much go caching at night. And then you'd find more urban hides, you know, in parks rather than the woods, in parks, or, you know, in parking lots and stuff like that, because they could be urban hides hidden in plain sight, where it's like you see it, but only a geocacher knows what it is. You'd walk right by it. You know, you don't even realize it's a geocache. So I'd have, you know, you see a flashlight, bling, 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 you know, flopping around. Someone's going to call the cops, especially if it's in their business. Now the cops are going to come. In 2010, that was a 30-minute ordeal, because the cops like, what are you doing? I'm geocaching. What's that? You explain the app. Let me see your license. They make sure you're not a felon. They make sure you don't have a warrant. It was and you can't guard him. Don't run. If anybody listening, don't run if you see a cop. You're not doing anything illegal. You're doing nothing illegal. So it was just an ordeal, you know. Now in 2026, everybody knows what it is. All the cops know who it is. The police, they're like, what are you doing? Geocaching. Okay, have a good time. You know, and they move on. So that's kind of nice. It's freed up a lot of that. Also, geocaching, I think in like 2013, gave every police the ability to have their own account. So like a lot, also in the early 10s and early teens, a lot of geocaches got blown up by the bomb squad, because people would see, you know, concerned citizens would see somebody lifting a lamp skirt and putting something underneath it. Next thing you know, the bomb squad's there, where they got Johnny Five blowing up the freaking cache. Right. So that happened a lot. I mean, a lot. Okay. Now the police can just go and they could type up geocaching.com, look and be like, oh yeah, it's a geocache. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Couple of questions just from me, really, and I know a little bit about geocaching. I'm in education, so it's something that we tried to sort of get our kids involved in terms of sort of logging on, and particularly as an activity for school based sort of kids, and then for their families when they're out and about, sort of thing. So sort of back in the day, and I don't know whether it was the same in the US as in the UK, but you used to then, my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, was that if you found something, you could take something, but you had to replace it with something back in the day. So is that still the case? So I would go to a geocache and there might be 3 or 4 different objects, and you had like a log of what was there. So you think, well, I'll take that, but then I'll put something back. Is that right? Is that how it works? Does that still happen? Or is it just a case of logging what it is that you see?
Sure. So depending on obviously the size of the geocache, if you have, you know, a small, nothing's going to be in there. It's just going to be a log sheet, it's a physical log sheet, which you pull out, and then you sign the log sheet with your geocaching name, because you have like a handle, more or less, for lack of a better term. And then you put the log sheet back in, close it up, hang it back up wherever it was. You log it. Then you log it as found online. That's how it's official. It's not really official. I mean, you have to sign the paper log. That makes it kind of official, but signing online finishes the transaction, so to speak. So if you get something like an ammo can or a large or something big, usually what people do is they put what we call swag inside of it. Okay. And that's toys, stuff like, you know, toys, you know, for the kids, because, you know, you're trying to, you know, like I used to, like my kids, well, my boys who are old now, they're grown up now, but when they were younger, I would take them with, and they would want to find the big ones because those had toys inside them. So that's what they would like. So the problem is that not everybody would put toys in them, and that was really annoying when you come up to an ammo can and it's empty, and my kids are like, "Hey, you know, I hiked it a mile in here." So what I would do is I would go first, and I would always keep toys in my bag, in my backpack, and I always would sneak toys into the cache. But yeah, and then my son would be like, I have this, you know, because it'd be their toys I don't play with anymore. So yeah, it's usually and the general rule of geocaching is that if you take something, leave something of equal value or better. You know, that's basically what it is. Yeah. But then there's so much more. I mean, there's travelers, geocoins. You see on my back wall, sorry, people listening, but there's geocoins and geopath tags and stuff like that, which people drop into caches to move along. Like a geocoin is really cool in theory, or because it's like a traveler, you give it a mission. Like I want to. Oh, a perfect example. Here we go. I have a buddy who geocached in the UK. Okay, I had a mission. I had a traveler. It was a trackable. Okay, my mission was to get to him.
Right.
Get me to the UK. Get him to Nottingham. That was the goal. Okay.
Yeah.
It took 3.5 years, but
Wow.
he got it. And it went from cash to cash to cash to cash to cash overseas to cash to cash to cash
Wow.
to the cash right by his house. And he got it.
Incredible.
It took 3.5 years, man, but he did. It got there, and I have a picture of it. It's great. Like him holding it. It's great. You know,
have you ever sort of geocached this all? I mean, were you aware of what it is in terms of?
Yeah, we did it in. I mean, when we did it in Centerparcs, which is like for our American friends over there. It's a holiday destination where you basically rent a lodge out in the woods for a week, but you're not in the woods because there's a whole load of lodges out there. You feel a little bit more alone than you actually are, if you know what I mean. There's people right next door to you,
right?
And we did geocaching last May, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good, but it was on the Centerparcs location.
Yeah.
So it was slightly different. You had to go. You took a clue from each place and it made up a word.
Yeah, it's like Centerparks. It's like a contained holiday destination. And there's like a subtropical paradise with pools, and then there's like a sports area, and there's loads of lodges in the trees. And they always try to find sort of I say woodland sort of retreats, and there might be like 100, 200 lodges around. But then there's always like walkways, cycleways, woods, paths that you can explore, sort of thing. So they would run activities like that, I suppose. But interestingly, I say back in the day, it's a number of years since we sort of looked it up really for the kids, but it's something that similar to what you're saying, Scott. Like some of them got it and they were like, well, can we go geocaching this afternoon or whatever, as part of our like Duke of Edinburgh, which is like a hiking, biking, trekking type activity award. It's like, well, we'll do geocaching because that will prepare you for your overnight sort of thing. And some got it and some didn't. Some were like, oh God, we haven't got to walk there, have we again? And then someone was like, no, but if we go there, then somebody might have put something new. And actually what they did, they would keep a log of what was in the cache. So every week or every 2 weeks, whatever, the cache might change. Then they logged how the cache over time changed. Sort of thing, which was quite cool. And that, I suppose, leads me now to my next question: is who sets the cache initially, and who is it something that I could do and just log online and say, "Hey guys, there's a new cache, and I've put something here." Is that how it works?
So the way it works is, well, in a perfect world, the way it works is you wait until you've found a couple hundred caches just so you know what it's like. Fortunately, most people don't do that. But yeah, you can you hide a geocache in, whether it's urban or in the woods. And then you go, I recommend going onto the website. And you can, it says, log a cache, and you go through the motions. You got to take chords at the geocache, where the chords, the north and west chords are. If anybody doesn't know how to do that, I'm not going to teach it on this show, but it's not that difficult. And then you type them in, and then you have, once you get all the information, you name it, you give it a DT rating, which is difficulty and terrain, depending on, obviously if you're climbing a tree, it's all based out of 5. So if you're climbing a tree, it's a 3 or a 4 or a 5. It's not a 1 terrain, and difficulty is sometimes there comes on is how hard is it to see how hard is it to find the geocache, or if it's a puzzle cache, how hard is the puzzle? Because the puzzle cache is where you have to solve a puzzle to get the coordinates, the final coordinates. Sometimes the puzzle is very difficult. That would be a 4 difficulty, but it could also be on the hide. Sometimes it's very hard to find. A geocache is very hard to find. That's a higher difficulty. So you decide the difficulty terrain, and again, the website will help you if you have no idea. They'll give you a checkboxes like, and once you answer the questions, they'll say this is a 2-3, a 2 difficulty 3 terrain. And then once you push the magic button, then it goes to a reviewer who we had on our show last week. And he looks at it, make sure it's legal, make sure you can put a cache there. These caches have to be 528 feet apart. I know you guys work in meters. Oh, God, what is it? I can't remember what the meter, 1.3 or something. I can't remember what the meters is. But it's 528 feet apart. And he makes sure it is and make sure you're okay. And if you are, he pushes it live. And then the cache goes live. You get an email alert if you are a premium member like I am and you pay, you get an email alert saying, hey, a cache, and you have the cache is near you within like 5, 10, 15 miles, you'll get an alert. And if not, you just, whenever you go to the map, you'll see a new cache there.
Wow.
That's how it goes live. It's pretty simple.
And how often do you get new caches? I mean, obviously, I'm assuming that in and around your local area, you would have been to them all. And is the
I've been to
excitement?
them all. Yeah.
Do you? So is the excitement for you then part of the travel, which is going to other states looking for other caches, or do you revisit caches that you've been to see whether or not potentially over time things have changed and have new things gone in there, things been taken? Is that part of the thrill as well, or are you literally just looking for new caches?
It's a very good question. You really can't log a cache more than once, so I don't really ever revisit a cache. I'll revisit mine to make sure it's still there, but if I'm in the area. But and for me, again, I've been doing this 18 years, a long time. My focus has changed because you got to keep a game interesting, right? You can only do it for so long. Like in the early teens, I focused on challenge caches where it was you had to do certain things before you could log it. So you had to find like 100 mysteries before you can log this cache, so I'd work on finding mysteries to fulfill this challenge.
Yeah.
Now it's way more traveling. I have been to 49 of the United States. I've geocached in 49 49 US states, 2 provinces in Canada. I have 1 state left, which is Hawaii, which is of course the most expensive one.
Yeah.
Alaska was absolutely amazing to hike to hike. I went to Sitka, which is an island in Alaska, which has the oldest geocache in Alaska on it, and it was breathtakingly beautiful. We went in April of last year, and it was gorgeous. And like I was Hawaii, Hawaii is my last one. I got to get to Hawaii for my 50th state. I was talking to Beans off air how UK is on my bucket list. That I will be there within probably the next 2 years. That is on my bucket list to go to geocache in UK. I want to geocache in Australia. I want to go to Brazil, hike the jungles of Brazil and find geocaches there. So it's like, now that it's getting to the point now where I've been doing this a long time, and and I just want to start traveling and hitting other ones, but traveling across the United States has been amazing to hit. I mean, to find a geocache in all those states is amazing. It's fun.
Yeah, I'll bet, dude. I'll bet. And if if you make it over to the UK, you just drop us a message and we'll
of course. Of course. But like I'm one of those annoying people when people talk to people mention a city. I'm like, yeah, my partner's like, you've been everywhere. I'm like,
so go on then. Which is the most
caching?
Which is your favorite city then that you've geocached in?
Alaska. Hands down. Before I went to Alaska last year. Before Alaska, Colorado.
Okay.
Maybe Wyoming. Wyoming was pretty amazing. So, weirdly, totally. I don't know how many people you got in the States listening to your show. One state you'd never think was absolutely gorgeous because you're all gonna laugh. Idaho. You think of Idaho. Okay. What do you guys think of when you think of Idaho? When someone says Idaho, do you have any?
Potatoes,
exactly.
Fields.
So my buddy's like, we're going to Idaho. I'm like, why the hell are we going to Idaho? It was gorgeous in Idaho.
Wow.
Absolutely. I was shocked. And I even saw the largest potato in the world.
Okay. It wasn't a cache, was it?
I have a picture of me with the largest potato. There's a geocache there at the statue of the largest potato in the world.
Brilliant.
But yeah, gorgeous state. Gorgeous. Yeah. Colorado, beautiful state. Utah, beautiful state. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just like, but Alaska was breathtaking. It was gorgeous. Just
was it challenging though? The routes that you found there, was it challenging? Because I imagine some of the terrain there can be quite difficult to pass.
Yeah. Speaking of that, in 2022, I went to Seattle, Washington. I don't know how much you know about Chicago. I'm gonna give you a little fun fact. It's flat. Okay.
Yeah.
It is flat. Period. No mountains whatsoever. Completely flat. Went to Seattle. I've been to West Virginia, but I was in Seattle. in 2022. Seattle, really hilly. Okay. Mountains, dare you say. And I went to GCD, the second oldest cache in the world. And it is fucking 3 miles up a mountain. Okay. I literally almost died. I thought I was going to die. I thought literally I was going to die a couple times. I thought I was going to die. I had to stop for 20 minutes just to, I mean, like, it's a kind of breath where like it hurts, like
It burns.
I am a flatlander through and through. Like,
Yeah.
oh my, and the worst part is I'm struggling up this hill and I'm like, oh God, sweat pouring off me. And these effing two old ladies with sticks, like, pardon, on your left. And like, they were like 80 years old, like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. I'm like, oh God damn it. Like, obviously live there. I mean, do that
Yeah.
like daily. And I'm over here dying,
Brilliant. I mean, in terms of the terrain, then, yeah, I say, is there a limit? Because again, I don't know how much you know about sort of UK sort of mountains, but we have Snowdon and we have a couple of relatively decent sized mountains and stuff. Not that we don't get anywhere near the top 10 or 50 or 100 in the world, but relatively decent sized mountains. Would you be allowed to put one at the top effectively?
There is.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That would be a 5 on the terrain.
There absolutely. I think there's there. Yeah. I guarantee you go look, you go to the geocaching website, you go to the map and you look at your area and you look at the mountains in your area. I bet you there's on that mountain. But what's funny is that you mentioned DT. Okay, like the geocaching DT changes depending on what state you're in. So if I am in Illinois and I have a terrain of 4, you're climbing a tree. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a terrain of 4 and nothing in Illinois is a terrain 4. Or it could be on an island. It could be on an island and you need a boat. But that would be a T5 actually, because that's if you use a boat. Wait, he's looking. Is there one on the? Is there one?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Yeah, it says there are several. So I've just put. Yes, there are several geocaches on and around Snowdon.
Yeah,
including an earth cache focusing on the area's volcanic geology.
Yep.
So so there is one. Yeah. Wow.
There you go. They're everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So you go to Colorado and a T4 is very I'm sorry, a T4 is different in Colorado or in Seattle than it is in Chicago. So you kind of have to adjust to where you are. Because now I go to West Virginia, very, very mountainy, got huge mountains. A T4 there is at the top of the mountain. A tree climb there is probably a T2, but for me, a T2 is that's going into the woods. That's not climbing. It's climbing a tree. That's ain't climbing.
Yeah, there is. So it's a little town that we're in. I say little town. I mean, what's the population of it? I say little town. It's about 50K.
That's not a little town.
30K.
No, it's about 13 or 14,000.
Is it?
I think. Yeah, it's not very.
But yeah, I've just had a look and it says yes, there are several geocaches in and around Alsager, including a notable traditional cache located on the Mere Lake Way. So would that be Saltline Mere Lake Way? Is that what it is? I don't know.
Yes, yeah,
possibly. So yeah, as you said, all around,
everywhere. They're everywhere.
We'll do a second episode on this for me. And
the best part about
geocacher.
In the beginning, the fun part is like you're doing something nobody knows about. Like especially back in the early days, like you're part of this little club that no one knows about. I mean, I geocached in the beginning. I went months before I met another geocacher. Months. So like it was like these weird people of like, who's putting these out? And you'd be really kind of like if you were in public, you'd be really careful not to let anybody see you, to try and sneak it. So it's this fun little game, where it's like trying to be stealthy and hide it, and it was fun. It was, it's this little thing that nobody knows about. It was this fun little game that nobody knows about.
We're members of the National Trust. So myself or my wife, we're members of National Trust, which is you would have something similar in the US. I'm not sure what it's called, but basically they have like national parks and lakes and paths and things that they own as a trust. And we're members of that, which means we get free entry and stuff. And I'm just thinking there absolutely would be hundreds of geocaches in and around the National Trust. So every time we think, we'll go to a National Trust place, well, why don't we geocache when we're there then? And we'll just try and, we'll go for a walk. And if there's one there, we'll find it, we'll tick it off. And it I suppose you could market it if it even needs marketing, but it's quite a healthy, activity. You're out and about, you're outside, you're in the outdoors, you're walking or climbing or falling or whatever it is that you're doing to try and find these geocaches. You know what I mean?
You got a hip flask.
I always said it was hiking with a purpose.
Yes.
If I had to put a tagline on geocaching, it's hiking with a purpose. Because I mean, I love to hike and I love the woods. But if I'm going to hike 3 miles, I'd rather be something at the end of it. Find. And the beauty part of it is that like you're going to hike. I've hiked 8 miles in a day before. God, yesterday I think I hiked 5. But it doesn't feel like it because you keep stopping and finding caches. You keep finding caches along the way. So you stop, you find it, you log it, you do whatever you do, and then you move on. So it's like you kind of get a little break. I mean, I've biked 20 miles down a trail heading caches. But it doesn't feel like it because you keep stopping and grabbing it and getting back on your bike and going again. So it's kind of nice that like I say, it's hiking with a purpose. It's a reason to get out. If you like hiking but you don't like hiking, you want a reason to hike. It's a great reason to hike because they're all along trails and they're all over the place. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So I was reading online about something called a power trail, dude. Can you tell us a little bit about that and whether how much fun that is?
I just did a power trail. I did. So my podcast is the Geocaching podcast. We've been going since 2007, and so I had the idea. Well, I shouldn't say that. Me and the another host had an idea for years. There's something in Nevada called the ET Highway. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the ET Highway. You have. Okay, great. Yes. So the ET Highway is this long stretch of highway near Area 51 where supposedly you can spot aliens and stuff. Somebody years ago put caches on it, geocaches on it every 528 feet. And there's like almost 4,000 geocaches on that. That's called a power trail because it's just boom, 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 boom. So me and my partner had an idea. Me and my co-host had an idea. Let's get some listeners and let's go do this thing. Because obviously, if you have a car, one person finding 4,000 geocaches is going to take forever. But you have a lot of people, and you do something called leapfrogging, where you just leapfrog the caches. That's quick. It's a lot quicker. So in 2024. I announced it late 2024. I announced like, hey, this is what we're doing for Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving 2025. If you want to join, send your email in and we're going to start, thinking about this. Oh my God, we got 70 emails, 80 emails immediately. People going, yep, let's go. Let's do it. So, I mean, for the record, we had people from Denmark. Denmark came into the States to do it.
Wow.
Australia came into the States to do it. UK came into the States to do it.
Oh.
Yeah. And we had people from 15 different states to do it.
Wow.
United States. So hold on. So the whole year of 2025. So obviously American Thanksgiving is in November. So it's late November, which is the perfect time to do the ET Highway because the ET Highway is in Nevada. Nevada is a desert. And the best time to you don't want to do the desert in July, you will literally die. So you want to do it in November when it's cooler. It could rain. It's the rainy season. It's the snowy season. It's snowy, here or there. But you want that season. So it was the perfect time to do it. But you're asking people to give up Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, guys, is a huge family holiday here in the States. You've seen American movies. We all know Thanksgiving. You have the little turkey. Your family sits around the table. We've all been there. Well, you guys haven't been there, but I've been there. So you asking people to give that up. Okay. That's a lot. That's a tall ask. But I'm like, hey, if you want 4,000 caches, come join us. It doesn't cost. You got to pay for your own flight there or, whatever you want to do to get there. So when all was said and done, we had 38 listeners join us on the ET Highway. We did it for 3 days. This power trail for 3 days. We had 9 cars, because we had 4 people per car. You had a driver, you had a navigator, you had a runner, which is somebody would get in and out of the car to get the cache, and somebody, a stamper, who would stamp the next cache. Because the object was speed. Speed was the object, okay? Because it's a lot. So we did it for 2 days straight from morning to night. You geocached, finding caches. I made the mistake of being the runner the entire day one. And let me tell you, I forgot that I'm 55 years old. Day 2, my legs were dead. Absolutely. But it was great because at night we'd get hammered. I mean, I'm way too old. I got way too drunk. I'm way too old to get that drunk. But so day 2 was hungover. Day 3 was hungover. It was just so much fun. It was we were and the last night was in Vegas. It was just so fun. But you got to see, like I tell you, like we had to start day 2 25 miles into the desert. That's how you started day 2. Like your car died, you were and zero signal. My phone was on SOS. My like zero signal.
Wow.
So like, yeah, it was amazing. It was great. It was so much fun. And just listeners who I'd never met, but they've been listening to the show for years. Like I say, people from all over the world came in to do this. ET Highway is known. It's a world. If you're a geocacher, that's like the Mecca. You go do the ET Highway.
That's amazing.
It is. And again, but just to be, I suppose, to come together for a common cause, I suppose, even all these people that you don't know them, you might have exchanged emails or whatever, but you don't really know them. And for them guys to then turn up and to have that common cause and that common enjoyment of an activity to then go and do that is, I can imagine, would be an incredible experience for yourself, who was then like, you're the organizer, right? Come on, we're going to go and do it. We're going to have a couple of days, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah,
bang.
I mean, and kudos to my team, because I put a team together and everybody had a job, and social media job, everybody had a job to do, and everybody was amazing, because this is a huge ordeal, and I'm pulling people. Like I remember I was talking to Jenny, my partner, 2 nights before it, and I'm having a panic attack in bed. I'm like, I just have 38 people are leaving their effing families on Thanksgiving to join me in Vegas. I go, that is insane. What did I do? Like, what are these bombs? Like, what am I doing? Like, I get this idea in my head. I'm an idiot. Like, what am I doing?
But all's well that ends well, though. That's the main thing.
Awesome. It was amazing. It was, it was absolutely amazing. But like you touched on something. One of the beauty parts about geocaching is that it doesn't discriminate. Black, white, yellow, fat, thin, short, tall, does not matter. You could be 30, you could be 13, you could be 90. It doesn't matter. If you get it, you get it, period. I've been to geocaching events. I saw a garbage man talking to a brain surgeon, and they went out caching together. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? There's no judgment here. It's just you both enjoy the same thing. You both get it. So that's the beauty of it, is that like it just doesn't care.
I've just seen the ET Highway car behind you. I've literally just seen it just behind you there. Yeah. I'm like, wow, that's it there.
Yeah, I picked it up in one of the shops at the like one of the gas stations near the ET Highway.
Wow, brilliant.
I tell you what, dude. One thing you do very well. You do a great job of selling it.
Thank you.
Literally, I'm thinking. I mean,
come on.
It's 9 o'clock here in the. I'm thinking, let's
go now.
Grab a few beers and head outside. But the other thing that you do, we've not really touched on it yet, dude. We've mentioned it a little bit, is your podcast. You know what I mean? I listen to your podcast. Tell us a little bit about that, because it's I don't know. It is. It's a unique show. It's literally like you tell us about it, dude.
Sure. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's a podcast. Everybody's got a podcast. So in 2010, I created a show. Me and Freddie Wall created a show called the Chicago Geocacher Podcast. It was a Chicago-based geocacher podcast. Okay. And the beauty part is that like me and Walt, my co-host at the time, both wanted a show we would listen to. And that meant no holds barred. That meant no swearing. That meant swearing. That meant making fun of people. That meant just total, because geocaching is a very adult themed, like it's a wet log, and it's like that, like funny stuff like that, so we totally went sophomoric, absolutely sophomoric, and it effing exploded. And we only talked about Chicago podcasts. We only talked about Chicago geocachers, period. Okay, period. And it exploded all over the world, worldwide of this little Chicago podcast, right? And I got to the point. I remember once we were like, this is before Patreon and existed and all that. We're like, hey, we want new equipment. So I'm like, let's just put out an email to listeners. So have to give us some money. In like 2 hours, we had over $400 in 2 hours.
Wow.
And like it just flooded in. It's flooded in. And like, we're like, whoa. And so we started keeping track. We had like a map on our website, and like of countries and states. We had every state, like other countries. We did our final show was our 100th show. We did in 2014. We did it live in the basement of a bar, because where else would you do that kind of show, right? Yeah. And we had people fly in from Australia. We had people fly in from UK. We had people flying from Denmark, like, and I was like, I'm so sorry. What are you doing? You're like, what are you doing? Apologizing to these people. But and then so in 2013, a year before that show ended, the Geocaching podcast was the biggest podcast there is. It's the one. It's one of the biggest. I shouldn't say the. It's one of the biggest podcasts there is. And it's been around since 2007. And it's the only call-in talk show. It's a live podcast. Like your show is live. I'm sure. Are we streaming right now? I don't even know. Are we streaming live right now?
Yeah.
So it's a live podcast. And it's a family friendly. I can't swear. Very different than the podcast I was on. Very, very, very different than what I was on. We don't swear. It's family friendly, but we take live calls. Live call-in talk show. It's a live geocachers call in. They say, hey, bye-bye. And so I came on in 2013. A host was leaving, and one of the other hosts was like, hey, you want to come on and join this show? And I knew my show was ending. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So I was a host from 2013 to 2018. Then in 2018, the producer of the show, the main host, said, hey, I'm retiring. You want to take it over? I said, sure, I'll take it over. So I've been the main host since 2018. Now the beauty part, and I was talking to Beans offline about this, the beauty part of the show is kind of like your Doctor Who, whereas like it stays the same, but the crew changes. Like we've had, I'm the third main host of this show. So there'll be another one after me. The show won't die when I leave the show. They'll just get a new host, you know. And that's the beauty of the show, is that it evolves, you know. It's evolved over the years since I've been there. I've been doing it a long time, but yeah, it's a great show. It's a lot of fun to do. And the best part is that, well, the worst part is it's live, because things happen, and it's live, and you take call-ins, and you never know what you're going to get when you get a call-in, you know, from callers all over the world.
What's the worst calling you've had then? Come on, you can't say that and leave us there.
We have a guy who loves to call in and just drop F-bombs all the time. Which aggravates me because I just have to edit the fucking show when it's done. I have to bleep it out. I'm like, dude, come on. You're just giving me more work. You know, what's doing is giving me work. So, because we're like you guys, we're an audio show. We do it live because we have to take phone calls. We have to do it live. But honestly, 96% of our audience is listening at work, in the car, you know. But if people want to watch it, they can. But it's awesome because so much of our audience has become a part of the show. We have listeners that people know listeners. We have listeners that people recognize listeners. Like, oh my God, you're Cody Dog. You know, like I know you from the Geocaching podcast. You know, you calling out, you're like, yeah. So it's like people. It's funny when I hear people like, yeah, I get recognized. You know, wherever I go, like it's, you know. Wow. So it's funny how that works, but it's awesome. You know, it's a great show, and it's again every Wednesday night at 8:30 Chicago time. So that's Central time. Yeah, we're live on the air, you know, taking phone calls. That's what we do.
It's amazing.
And did I say 900? Did I say we're doing episode 900?
Yeah, 900.
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is phenomenal. To be going that length of time, to have that length of a run.
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, we've been doing 6 years, 322nd episode that we're recording tonight. And we're pleased as punch for that. And, you know, hopefully we'll be recording our episode 900 when we're even grayer and bolder. Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things now. I've been doing this show for 13 years. I've been hosting it. I've been the main host of the show. What is that? 2018 to now? What is that? 8 years?
Yeah.
It's just a part of my life now. It's every Wednesday night. I mean, this is what I do on Wednesday nights at 8:30. I have to do the show. You know, I have to prep. I prep the show, and you know, I prep the show, you know, Monday or Tuesday, and start getting ready for it. You know, and try and find, like you guys, try and find new people to bring in, obviously geocaching related, but you know, if I hear about something cool, I try and talk to that person. Hey, you want to come on the show and talk about that kind of thing, you know? So it's cool like that. And, you know, I've been doing it a long time, and it's like, you know, when am I going to stop? I don't know. You know, some days I'm like, oh God, I just want to stop doing this. But
do you really though? Do you still? I'm assuming do you still get that buzz? It sounds to me. I mean, you're obviously hugely passionate, enthusiastic about what it is that you do. Do you still get that geocache buzz?
Well, for podcasting or geocaching?
Well, both.
Podcasting, it's just a job now.
Yeah.
Become a job. I love it. I love what I do. If I would do my life again, I'd be on the radio.
Yeah.
But I can't. So I enjoy, this is my outlet, so to speak. But geocaching, yes, I love geocaching. I will do it to till I drop dead. Hopefully, I'll drop dead geocaching. That'll be a perfect world. But oh, it happens a lot. You'd be surprised. Yeah, I'll do that to the day I die. Absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
I love it. I still it's the thrill of the hunt. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that like that kick in my head. When I'm getting close to it. I love it. Love it. Yeah, I can't replace it. It's one of those things. Yep.
No, it's one of the things that we love on the show is people are going to come on and talk about their hobby. One thing that we love more than that is those that do it enthusiastically.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of real passion for it. And it's really obvious to anybody who's going to be tuning in. You've got a massive passion for this thing. It's an obsession, is it?
No. Yes, I have a geocaching tattoo on my arm.
I was going to say, are they all the ones that you've got?
The arm is sleeved, but yeah, there's a geocaching one on my arm.
Nice.
But yeah, obsession. I don't think because I have a family. I have a life outside of geocaching.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have kids. Baseball is huge in my life. I have other passions, but this has just been a part of my life for so long that it's like it's my outlet. It's my. You have no idea, like the when I'm having a bad day, to just put my earbuds in and go take a hike in the woods and find a couple of geocaches. You cannot, and I challenge anybody listening to this podcast. If you're having a really, really shitty day, go to a forest preserve. Take a walk, and I promise you will not walk out of that preserve in a shitty mood. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
There is nothing like nature therapy. Nothing. Nature therapy is a real thing. And I never walk out of the woods in a bad mood or and pissed off. So I use it a lot, in my life, issues I've had with my life, just to get away and just to even go by myself, I love caching with other people, but I love to cache by myself and just put earbuds in and just go for a hike and just listen to music and find caches. That puts me, it calms me, it centers me, that's what it is. That's part of what it's about.
Brilliant. One thing I was going to ask, and I suppose I should have asked it early, really, when we talk about specific geocaching and stuff, and again, excuse my ignorance, is there a league? Can you gain points and are the points awarded on the number of caches you found or the difficulty and all of that? And do you get like more points for caches that are harder to find or solve? And how does that whole sort of community work in terms of there's a leaderboard? No,
there's not really a leaderboard. No, it's just fines.
Oh, okay.
It's literally just fines. It's how many fines do you have?
Okay.
You meet somebody, eventually that question will be asked.
Is that something that potentially it might move it? And I'm not saying it becomes then competitive as such, but if there are harder caches to find, would that be like a 2-point cache as opposed to a 1-point cache? And then does that defeat the whole purpose of actually geocaching, just getting out there and enjoying nature as such?
Yeah, it does not. No, it doesn't matter. What do you find? Whether you find a 5-5 or a 1-1, it doesn't matter.
It's still a find.
It's still one smiley. We call it a smiley because you get a smiley face on your map.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a smiley.
How frustrating is it then when you don't find what you're looking for? Not like a U2 song, that is.
How frustrating? It depends. It's frustrating when I tell you, it's frustrating when you've hiked 1.5 miles or 2 miles and you can't find it. That's kind of frustrating. But it's also frustrating if you're out of state, if you're in a state you're never coming back to, or a city I'll never come back here. That's kind of frustrating. But other than that, it's just a part of the game. It's really just a part of the game. It's called a DNF, did not find. A DNF, and you log a DNF. So instead of logging a find, you log a did not find.
Right. Okay.
So the owner knows, like, oh shit, he didn't find it. Now, obviously, if someone with 20 finds DNF'd it, he's gonna be like, he's too young, he doesn't know any better. But if someone like me who's got 33,000 finds, they're gonna be like, oh, that's
yeah. But what would be the circumstances for you not finding it then? Because if they're all affected GPS, then and you've got actually it's 100 yards in front of you and it's just down there on your right type thing, what would be the circumstances for you not to find it then?
Well, it's just not there. It got taken.
Oh, okay. So whatever it was, so literally somebody just got there before you, picked it up, left, and it's not there.
Yep. Or somebody, somebody who doesn't geocache found it. Took
Just
it.
found it and
For
binned it.
animals take them all the time. Animals.
Oh,
take 'em.
okay. Oh, yeah. Actually, that makes sort of sense.
So,
I never thought that really.
yeah, because you have a smaller container, like if you have a preform, which is basically an unblown, no pun intended, an unblown pop bottle, or you have pill bottles. You see a lot of those in the woods as well. If it's a smaller container, oh shoot, a raccoon or a squirrel will take that thing and run off with it, and it's gone. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
don't tether that thing down, it's gone. So that happens a lot. Or somebody, some kids stumble upon an ammo can in the woods, they're taking it. I'd take it if I was 13 years old,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a cool thing to have. So it's stuff like that, it happens. It happens all the time. So that's the only reason you'd log a DNF. Like for me personally, here's the issue, and this is going to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but I'm really not. This is the truth, is that like when somebody has 33,000 fines, I'm not going to log it. If I think it's there and I can't find it, I will not log a DNF, because I don't want you to try out here.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find it. Like and I'll even say like sometimes I'll say I'll log a DNF and say it's probably there, I just missed it. But if I'm guessing it's there, I'm not going to log a DNF. Now, if I know it's not there, like if he's telling me where it is, because you could also put hints in, and if his hint says it's here and it's not there, then I'll log the DNF and be like, dude, it's not here.
Yeah.
But these kids, who has 20 fines or doesn't know, who just started playing, they don't know what they're looking for. They don't, like they say the first 100 fines is the hardest, because the first 100 fines, you're figuring out the game. You're figuring out the different types of hides, what containers there are, where they're hidden. That's the hardest. First 100 are the hardest. After 100, you've pretty much seen everything. You've seen them all. So it gets a lot easier. Occasionally, I mean, even me, occasionally I'll see a hide I've never seen before. It's rare, just because I've been doing it for so long. But it's always awesome when you see that. When you see a hide you haven't seen, it's really cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff out there, in terms of gadget caches and stuff like that, where you got to like play a game or something for it to open, for you to log in and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing.
Wow.
There's in North Dakota, there is Gilby, North Dakota. I know you've never heard of it. I never heard of it either. Gilby, North Dakota is 2 blocks long. Okay, I've been there, and it is a tiny little town. Literally 2 blocks, no stoplight. Okay. And it is the Disneyland of geocaching, it's called, because there are hundreds of geocaches there, and they are all absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. Okay. And one guy does them all. One guy does them all. He lives in Gilby, and he just puts these caches out so much that they actually have a Gilby Gone Wild event, a big, huge event that hundreds of people go to every year to this time. I mean, dude, the town is literally a block long. It is not even like a gas station in this town. It's so tiny. But it's everybody, if you geocache, Gilby, North Dakota, and you want to go there, and you want to go there. Like it's
So you mentioned Alaska as being sort of, as the best experience in terms of geocaching.
Yeah.
What's been, and I suppose, is there a distinction there between the best place that you've been to cache, which was Alaska, which has been your favorite cache, that your favorite find as such?
Wow. My favorite find.
You probably found 33,000 by what you've just told us. So
yeah, 33.5. Yeah, I'm just past 5, 33.5.
is the one that stands out? Is it like, oh my god, that was it?
Yeah,
took me ages or whatever.
One that blew me away. Absolutely, I'll say one that absolutely blew me away. Because there's a lot of amazing caches out there.
Yeah.
One that blew me away was one called the Grotto. It was in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, it was in a. It was funny story with this one. It was in a cemetery in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, and one of the thing about geocaches is that you could, if you like it, you can give it a favorite point. Okay, so it's usually when you go to a place you've never been to, you filter geocaches by high favorite points, because those are the ones that are probably pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So the Grotto is one of the top. It's one of the top. So I'm like, oh, I got to see what the hell this is, in a cemetery, right? It's a freaking cemetery. So, I go to the cemetery, and what it is, it's a virtual cache, which means there's no actual cache to find. Okay. You have to answer a few questions about the cache. That's how the owner knows. They take a picture of you there. Hello, click. That's how the owner knows you were there. So it's a virtual cache. And you go into this, and it is a cavern or a tunnel or a cave. You go into it, and it is, oh God, how do I give this any kind of justice? It is just crystals, millions and millions of crystals on the walls. It's a crystallized cave.
Wow.
And they have uplights in different parts of the crystals. Okay. So there's red over there, yellow over there, blue over there. And then they have the, I'm Jewish. Okay. So like, not that matters or anything, but it does fit into the story. But I went to Loyola University, which is, I don't know if you guys know, hugely non-Jewish. It's a Christian college. That's where I went to college. So I had to learn about the Old Testament, the New Testament, Jesus Christ, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it has the 6 stations of the cross in this crystallized tunnel. Cavern, or whatever you want to call it. So you walk through this thing, and they're piping in like Enya music. They're piping in this music that is just beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
This like heavenly music. They're piping into this mountain, okay, of just crystals and uplights and the stations of the cross. And it was just, I didn't want to leave. I wanted to live there.
Yeah.
I literally wanted to live there. It was so peaceful. I was like, holy shit. And I'm not even religious in the least. And I was like, holy shit. You know, this is amazing. Wow. And they have a book you could sign, like for obviously for non-geocaching people. There's a book. And so I signed you could sign the book and, say I was there. I have pictures of it. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
And wait, this is the best part though. So I'm walking out and I'm seeing a big crowd across the street. I'm like, what the fuck's going on across the street? Right. The crowd leaves. I walk over. I walk over across the street, and it's a grave. Who's the grave? Whose grave is it?
Surely Elvis.
No, God, no. I know where Elvis is. I was at Elvis's grave. I went to Graceland. He's there.
It's Graceland. Yeah, it's Memphis.
No,
in Memphis.
It is. Hold on, it is Chef from South Park. Isaac Hayes' grave.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit! You got the grotto and you got Chef.
Brilliant.
Or Shaft, depending on how old you are, or Shaft.
Or Shaft. Yeah, or Shaft. Yeah.
How crazy is that? I'm like, holy mackerel, Isaac Hayes. Oh my God. Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's amazing. Wow.
But yeah, amazing. I mean, just so peaceful and amazing. In the middle of this cemetery, it's just a cemetery,
Incredible.
And that's what's amazing about geocaching is that, like, I mean, honestly, I would say probably 85% of the geocachers in this world cache on vacation. They're vacation
yes.
Yeah.
I
mean, let's be real. Most people aren't like me. I'm a small subset of the geocaching community. But that's the beauty part about it is that, like, you go somewhere, wherever I go, I see really cool shit because I don't take the tours. That's BS. I search my favorite points because what the beauty part of geocaching is cachers will take you to something that they want you to see. That's the whole point of it. You're going to hide something here, but like, I want people to see this, because this is amazing and people should see this. So they're going to put a cache there and people are going to favorite it. And now I'm going to go see it because it's highly favorited. You see a high favorite, you're going to see something really cool. You're going to see something really cool.
So, and that makes sense. It's like, I'm sure there are loads of caches that are in shitty places or whatever, but
there's plenty of shitty places.
I'm sure there's loads, but actually I can imagine there's a really high proportion that actually think this place is the view is incredible, or this is incredible, or that is amazing, or so therefore I'm gonna put something here and I'm gonna cache here, and therefore loads of people will come because if I can see it, I want loads of other people to see it.
Yeah,
and that's the fun of it.
We have something in Chicago called Vampire Empire. It's a geocache called Vampire Empire. Okay. I never even heard of it, never knew this existed. Apparently in Chicago, which I have born and raised, okay, we have something called the Pedway. Okay. That's like an underground city underneath the city of Chicago.
Wow. Okay?
Never heard of it, never knew it existed. I never heard of it. And so you have to follow a map and go around, and you have to go through the Pedway and then go back up and find a cache. But I mean, underground Chicago's stores, there's a daycare center, there's restaurants, There's all this stuff under the city where you could walk. It's like a big mall. Okay, you can get to the L's, you can get to the trains. So basically, if you live in the city in an apartment, you can go to the basement, get on a train, take it to the pedway, get out of the pedway, and walk to your work and take an elevator up. You never have to even go outside.
No way.
And to God, swear to God, this exists in the city of Chicago. I never knew it effing existed. Okay. And so till there's geocache. So it's stuff like that, which is just I'm walking around this. I did this in like 2013 or 14. And I'm walking around this pedway going, what the F is this? I've never seen this. Like, it's a whole underground thing under Chicago. This whole world under Chicago.
Never knew. I mean, in the UK, obviously, I pay attention to stuff that sort of goes on in Chicago, but never heard that. Didn't know about that either.
Called the Pedway in Chicago. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Amazing. And I never would have known it existed if it wasn't for geocaching. You know,
wow.
And I can't even tell you how many times I have said that. I would never do this with Sarah if it wasn't for geocaching. You know,
one of the things I saw on the Facebook group that I joined, which is where, you know, I contacted you through, was there was a guy who'd put on there and he booked a cruise. And the first thing he'd done once he's booked a cruise, all the different destinations he's going to, well, guess what? I'm going to find you. I'm going to start. Yeah,
of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It never even entered my head that that's something you'd be able to do. I know there's so many opportunities out there. You know, you can do it locally. As we found, you can do it in our hometown of Allston.
Yeah.
I'll be willing to bet Malcott, which is nearby.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and then, like you say, places like that you can discover. We'll have to mention that to Steve. Actually, Steve's been on the podcast before. His brother is a one-time host of it. He's here occasionally, and he moved out to Antioch, Illinois, a couple of years ago.
Oh, nice, Antioch! You're kidding? Nice.
Yeah, so it was about an hour south of Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's moved out. Let's see if he's
absolutely. And as you say, I suppose to give you got, you know, what you mentioned about, you know, it's a purpose to hiking or whatever, or hiking with a purpose. I suppose for those people, it'd be like, do we go on vacation or holiday and then geocache, or do we look for the geocaches and because they're there, we then go on holiday there? And I suppose that's do you holiday and then you
geocache? No, that's my way.
Yeah, you will think, oh, this is geocache, I'm going there.
Yeah.
Whereas I suppose lots of the people will go on a holiday, but actually while they're there, they'll go, I wonder where there are any geocaches, and they'll have a look around and they'll go to see all these amazing places.
And that's 80%, like I told you, 85% of geocaches is what they do.
Yeah.
Very few actually plan their trips around it. Yeah. You know,
and I never thought that. And you just and logic would dictate that. As I say, you know, me and my wife are members of the National Trust. So when we go to a National Trust, we'll just geocache. When we go here, we'll just geocache. We'll just
you're hiking anyway. You're hiking anyway.
Exactly. We're going on the coastal path. You know, we'll walk around the coastal path of the UK. So we'll walk. Well, why don't we walk and find something while we're there?
Yeah,
that makes sense to me.
Years, how many geocaches you've passed?
I'm sure there would be thousands of them.
All you need to do is you got to get yourself a space pen. Okay, get yourself a space pen with a clip. You clip it to your keychain or whatever, so you always have a pen in you. Because you got to have a pen. You got to sign the log, or else it don't count, kid. So you always got to have a pen on you. So like I have a space pen and I clip to my belt loop whenever I'm out caching. So like I always have a pen on me no matter what. But yeah, you know, you're passing you're hiking anyway. Come on.
I'm going to do it. We'll do another episode. We'll do another episode.
Yeah,
we'll invite you back. I tell you what, I don't know when, I mean, we're quite booked up, but so I don't know when if you're willing to come back on, you might be, you know, hacked off with us too, sick of us. Yeah, exactly. But you come back on and in the meantime, I will absolutely geocache with my wife, and we'll find some caches and we'll try and log them. And then next time you come on, if you're willing to come on again, which would be incredible, by the way, because we would love to have you on again, you know, and we'll talk about some of the caches that I found. We will absolutely do that.
Absolutely. Anytime, man. You know, I'm willing to talk about it. I'll talk about this all day.
So we always wrap these things up then round about the hour mark. Before we let you go, though, we need you to plug your podcast and anything else that you do. Where can we find you online?
Sure. Okay. You can find me at the geocache. If you literally just Google Geocaching Podcast, I'm pretty sure we're the first one that comes up. It's called the Geocaching Podcast. The website is geocachingpodcast.com. You could also follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Geocaching Podcast. We are live. We We record live every Wednesday night at 8:30 Central. What time? What are we? 6 hours ahead of you? You're 6 hours ahead of us.
We're 6 hours ahead.
Yeah, we're 6 hours ahead. Yeah.
We record live at what 2:30 your time or something like that. 2:30 a.m. your time. But obviously we're on every however you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, whatever. We're on it. So yeah, it's called the Geocaching Podcast, is what it's called, and it has you'll know you got us because it's got a little trendy intro song. So
it's got a very catchy tune. It's a very catchy intro.
Thank you. That was before me, man. It's been around for a long time. It's even before.
No, it is. I forget. When I first heard it reminded me a little bit of who's that Sheldon guy? The Bare Naked Ladies did the tune to it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Now I'm because I'm old.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah, that one anyway.
Yeah.
You know what? The Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang.
Right. Okay,
yeah, it reminded me a little bit of that. You're probably going to tell me no, it's nothing like it, but that was just me. But no, listen, Scott, we really, really appreciate you freeing up an hour of your time here on a Sunday when you could have been out geocaching. You're talking to these two goobers here. So thank you very much for freeing up some time and doing that. Because I tell you what, dude, I've really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, massively enjoyed it. And as I said to earlier, I mentioned that I'd sort of heard about it to a certain extent. Absolutely not. I've learned so much about it just in the last hour, and there'll be so much more that we will continue to learn about it. But I'm genuine in terms of we'll get you back on, Scott. We'll talk about some of the caches that we found, some of the places that we visited, and yeah, we can talk to you about them, and it'll be incredible if ever you do come over to the UK. We'd absolutely love just to hook up and we'll geocache with you, have a couple of beers, and talk about Chicago as a sports city. It'd be incredible.
Within the next 2 years, I promise you, I will be out there. I will be in the
Brilliant.
I'm trying to get it this year, but I don't know if my partner will let me, but I'm trying to get there this year. And I got my refund check and I'm itching to spend it. So I was looking at UK, London, and where do I, because it's London and Brazil. That's the two that's I'm waffling between those two right now.
Okay.
So
I'd probably go Brazil.
Yeah, but the difference is I'm going to the jungle of Brazil. I'm going to Rio. I'm going to
snakes.
Oh yes,
frogs.
Yeah.
Well, no, go Brazil.
Yeah. I want to hike the jungles of Brazil and geocache the jungles of Brazil. That's where I want.
Brilliant.
Amen. Well, we'll look forward to finding out a little bit about that, and hopefully we'll get to join you. If you do make it over here to London. But for us, that's us done for this week, and we will be back next week when we will be talking about something entirely different altogether.
Friends around the mic, kicking back, all right. Day turns into night, podcast in the spotlight.